About 15 states, from Rhode Island to Florida to Utah. The trouble was fueled by technical glitches, human error, and heavy turnout. Simply huge numbers of voters and poll workers using new machines for the first time.
Why machines broke here? You know, it looks too suspicious. It looks too ridiculous.
Indiana was the scene of frustration when poll workers couldn't remember how to get the machines started. As a result, a judge ordered poll hours be extended by 2.5 hours.
20% of all the precincts in this county did not open up properly this morning.
One Ohio congresswoman struggled to vote by optical scanner and gave up on the machine. While in Illinois, Chicago election officials struggled to troubleshoot their new touchscreen machines.
What do y'all want this machine to do? Excuse me.
Out west, California appeared quiet, but in Colorado, untrained poll workers made for long lines and long faces.
The cards they gave us from the county are not working right now.
In Utah, voters in 2 major counties faced delays of up to 90 minutes. In some states, new, tougher voter ID requirements added to the confusion. South Carolina's governor was wrongly turned away when the address on his driver's license didn't match the registration list. So far, Katie, these new machines have caused mostly inconvenience. The real verdict on how they've performed is coming tonight as votes are counted.
And Armin, have you gotten any sense about how the counting's going so far?
Actually, we have, Katie. We talked to Paul DiGregorio, the top election official in the country, just a few moments ago, and he told us outside of a few glitches, things have gone very well.
All right, Armin, thank you. CBS News will bring you election updates throughout this evening, and I'll be anchoring an hour-long special report with the very latest results and fantastic analysis beginning at 10/9 Central. And for returns the second you want them, you can go to our website at cbsnews.com. There is much more CBS News ahead right here. And coming up next, our panel of political experts weighs in on the results so far. I want to turn now to a couple of people who have been through a few election nights themselves, and they know what they're like from the inside. CBS News political consultants Mike McCurry, who was press secretary to President Clinton, and Nicole Wallace, who was communications director for the current President Bush. So as everyone's watching these returns, well, hopefully some people are watching these returns, give us some atmospherics. You've been talking to your friends at the White House.
Right.
Set the scene for us. I'm so curious at what's going on there.
Well, you know, they don't put a lot of stock in exit polls. So a lot of them are looking at this early data and laying over what their own kind of research in the field shows. They're doing their own evaluations at some of the precincts that Republicans really need to watch and really need to target. So they're talking a lot about turnout, and they're laying their own data over the exit poll results. I'm told that while a lot of the senior staff is in a dinner in the residence with the president, Karl Rove, the president's senior advisor, is up and down checking in with aides and really staying on top of the latest.
And they're not paying that much attention because exit polls have favored Democrats, as we all know, in the past. But tell me about Nancy Pelosi. She may become Speaker of the House.
Well, she's got a lot going on in her life tonight. Now, she's spent just recently was over at Democratic headquarters on Capitol Hill getting reports on some of the races, got very excited by some of the news from Indiana, where it looks like in 3 very close races we are doing well. But she's also keeping an eye on things on the home front. Her daughter Alexandra is about to give birth, so they're getting reports from that field too. They're on their way over now to the Hyatt Hotel where the Democrats are having a big party. She's going to go out and thank everyone for working hard and remind people on the West Coast that the polls are still open and they need to get out and continue working hard.
And I know this is her 6th grandchild, and the baby is 3 days overdue. So talk about a nail biter in more ways than one, right? All right, Mike and Nicole, thank you so much. In addition to the big national and local races tonight, voters in 37 states are voting on a number of very important ballot initiatives. Sharon Alfonsi in St. Louis is watching those for us tonight. Sharon?
Hi, Katie. Well, the president and Iraq may be the main reason that voters went to the polls today, but there are a number of ballot initiatives that some voters are just as passionate about. Perhaps nowhere more than here in Missouri, where they are considering that stem cell research initiative. That's the reason many voters here say they went to the polls today. Now, that initiative would ensure that any kind of stem cell research that's allowed in the U.S. is protected in Missouri. Voters in 6 states are also considering raising raising the minimum wage. And we should say that CBS is projecting that that initiative has passed here in Missouri. 8 states could ban same-sex marriage. 12 might curb the government's right to seize private property. And Arizona decides if encouraging voter turnout by awarding a $1 million lottery prize to one lucky voter is such a good idea. Now, Democrats believe that these issues are really going to rally their base, while Republicans are saying it's going to re-energize theirs. We will know soon enough. Katie?
All right, Sharon Alfonsi. Sharon, thanks so much. We'll be talking to you later tonight. And coming up next here on the CBS Evening News, a surprising plea for reconciliation from Saddam Hussein. And did you vote today? We're going to take you to a part of America where, believe it or not, almost everyone does.
If we don't vote, we get what we deserve. So that's why I came out to vote.
I think no matter what your views, it's just a very important election. We need some changes, no matter what your party is.
See, baby, ain't that America, home of the free, yeah.
It will be some time before we know just how many of us voted today, but the average turnout for a midterm election is less than 40%. Most other countries put us all to shame. But there is one place in America where voters turn out in big numbers, election after election. And Cynthia Bowers is there.
Thank you very much.
You can't always predict how Minnesotans will vote. After all, they elected a professional wrestler governor. But there's one thing you can always bank on. Minnesotans will vote. Even former vice presidents have to wait in line here.
That's what we do here. We all vote.
Well, almost everyone. In 2004, 77% of eligible voters turned out, compared to 60% for the nation as a whole. But it's midterm elections like this one where the state really shines. 4 years ago, 64% cast ballots, 25% more than the national average. When it comes to voting in Minnesota, there's no such thing as an off-year election. And don't even suggest it's because there's nothing else to do here. That just won't fly.
It goes back to the old principle, if you don't vote, you can't complain. So, and I love to complain.
Well, this year promises to be another barn burner in a once reliably Democratic state that's now neither red nor blue.
Minnesota is a purple state. It is real parity between the parties. And that kind of competition tends to bring people out.
And Minnesota is one of just 6 states that offers same-day voter registration. That alone ups turnout by 15%. But perhaps the biggest key to success is that Minnesota thinks small. Simply put, they raise voters here.
That's a good choice, Pop. That's a good choice.
Thanks to the program Kids Voting, this year some 80,000 school children will go to the polls with mom and dad.
It's good that they teach kids at a young age that